Okay, 7 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, Jack said he might run a little late. He's got a house full of guests.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. All right, anybody make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. My only remarks really are, thank everybody who helped and participated and attended the weekend. It was a great event. We had great turnout. People seemed to be enjoying themselves.
Great weather.
Yeah, the weather,
Yeah.
I'll take credit for the weather.
Okay.
Anyway, thanks everybody for helping.
Who approved the minutes, or who made the motion?
Hmm?
Mandy,
Oh.
Mandy, that's what I thought.
So,
Okay.
okay. Rita, do you want
Yeah.
to update us on the office?
Membership for the end of the fiscal year did reach 85%, which is the best it's been since I've been here. Yeah, I was really pleased about that. I requested the audit, should be maybe sometime in August. He hasn't given an exact date. He'll either come, or maybe we'll do it online again. Last year with COVID, we were able to do it all by email and phone calls, and so we'll see what he wants to do. I spoke with the first Sergeant Dean is his name. If anybody at the membership meeting recalls, somebody was concerned about the golf carts.
Oh,
So First Sergeant Dean is the Community Action Team supervisor. And he said, and I explained what was going on. He said he would send me the words to put the correct language on the website, and which it just came in a little while ago. And I note that what it says is that Maryland state law talks about it's illegal to have a golf cart on a state or county maintained road. And I said, that leaves us, and so I just responded maybe an hour ago, that leaves us in a little bit of limbo. And I explained our situation. He probably knows. I said, that doesn't mean we have to follow county and state traffic laws. So one would imagine that that would go in under that, but who knows? And I said, and if that does apply to us, do the deputies know that that applies to us? So anyway, we'll see what he has to say about that.
Jack's coming in.
Okay.
Did anyone see the young girl, I guess she was not, a young girl that she was old enough to drive, obviously, it was going up and down with a big dog in the back. I mean,
Oh, no.
going fine.
Well, you're not gonna get them to do anything. People can go 55 miles an hour up Parade and down Lake, and you can't hardly get a ticket.
If a kid flies out, that's
I know, I agree. So anyway, we'll see what else he has to say. I also have an email from Robin at the county in the finance office. We'll be getting a transfer of money for shore funds, which we have not had since November, in the amount of $10,163, and she broke it out by month. I don't know that I will do that.
Happy birthday.
I know. So there's that.
That's way more than usual.
Well, that's for 5 months. We haven't had a transfer of shore money since, what did I say, November. So that's November to April,
I think the budget is like 7,000.
a year. Well, we do. And I think that's just been an ongoing number because for a lot of years we didn't get much at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyway, we're getting that. And this is another thing that might maybe take a little more discussion than just this. Shirley Bean, who does the gate patrol and organizes that, said that they've been having a little bit of trouble with people using hang tags who do not live in John County. And on the back of those hang tags, it says should be returned to the office when, if you leave. I think I can count 2 in the past, I don't know, 10 years, of people that have actually taken the time to just return those to me. I don't think it's a huge problem, but yet it's a bit of an issue.
But
How does she know?
yeah, how does she know that they don't live here?
Because they have actually, she's pretty efficient, and they've actually taken to matching the hang tag number with, because I give them a list of property owners, so that if you didn't get your hang tag, you can still get on the beach and then come get your hang tag. So if that hang tag number doesn't match that property owner's name, that's how she
So she's
knows.
going around, but how does she know their name? She'd ask them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Are people giving them to their friends or something? Is that
No, I
what's
think when they
going
sell their
on?
property, like for one of them specifically was right across the street, this house has since sold. And the people that owned it, had a younger woman living there and a son. It was an odd situation, so no details there. But anyway, there was a foreclosure, the whole 9 yards, like 3 years ago, it finally got flipped, blah, blah, blah. This young woman still has her hang tag, and that's where it started. I got a call from Shirley, remember that woman that lived across the street? She still live in Trump Point? No. So that's kind of where it started. So the only suggestion I can make is that we make them expire. That would be the simplest thing, I think. I was at my daughter's house, she lives in CRE. They go through a whole rigmarole to get their tags. They have to provide their plate number, their driver's license numbers, how many people in the household, it's a form. I'm the only employee here, I obviously don't have a lot of time to be able to do that. We don't keep people from the beach if they haven't paid their dues. Never have. So my thought is, when I send out January statements, I'll order some stickers with the year 2022. And, little letter to go with the statement, and here's your stickers for upcoming year, put them on your hang tag.
So do you think there's a number of people who have moved away and passed on the tags?
No, I don't think it's even a huge problem.
Well, if
It's
if
just that she's beginning to track it, because she wanted to know how many people are using the beach that want to make sure we have erosion control and all that. So one thing led to another, and then this lady shows up, and it's like,
But, okay, if we're talking about onesies, twosies,
I know.
why bother?
Well, yes,
Yeah, that's a point.
yeah, you're right.
Point.
That's
Well,
a good point.
What has she been doing when one of these shows up?
She did not let this woman on the beach, and there was
Really?
no argument given.
Well, that's the way to.
That's what I would do, and,
Yeah, just kick them off.
Yeah, but if they
Yeah.
argue,
and if they argue, then, well, okay, if it's if it's abusive or belligerent,
Call the sheriff.
call the sheriff.
So rather than getting the expiration date stickers, just have them go ahead and check the hang tag against the owner's name.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that's.
So does that
If it
mean you
doesn't
don't
match,
reissue all the ones that are out there now?
I would not reissue them, no. Those are expensive, they're not cheap,
right.
although.
and I like with the new hang tags, I noticed
They're
they're a lot
little.
smaller.
Yeah,
Where are you
lots
gonna
of-
put
I
that
have one of the
year?
old ones that have.
You put it on the back.
Yeah,
You can put it on the back.
On the back of
Well, now
what?
it gets
On the back of
complicated,
what?
could I see the
Of the
back of
newer
your
hang
hang
tags.
tag? See, I really think if we're talking about onesies, twosies,
Okay,
But you're
I tend to agree with you. I don't think it's a
you're
huge
saying the
problem.
new hang tags.
They're really little.
So do we get if we have the old ones, we're fine, right?
You're fine either way, they don't
Yeah.
expire.
Okay, fine.
You're fine either way. It's just that when I ordered the new ones, I wanted to
Small.
get, they're expensive.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
bigger
that's smaller,
plastic
yeah,
ones.
Yeah,
These are quite paper and thin, which is why they were so cheap.
yeah, yeah.
Now I know. It's just a different.
Okay, so I can
Company.
continue with my big one.
Is Shirley, having it, does she feel like we need to do something? I
She
mean, is she
was-
feeling stressed, like,
I don't think
is she
in
put
a, I
in
don't
a
think,
bad position, or?
no, I don't think in a big way, no. There was one other woman who had a guest in her house, that name matched a property owner that had since left the community. Well, it's not that property owner, it's a woman who's a guest in their house, and, so for now, I think maybe I tend to agree with you, if it
Yeah,
becomes a
she's,
big issue.
Shirley's very protective of her beach.
She is.
She is, and that's wonderful.
And
What
if
is?
she says,
It is wonderful.
She is.
if she sees a discrepancy, I would
Brings it to the
tell her,
board.
bring it to their attention and say, this is not valid. And
Right.
if they leave, they leave. And you can tell them, if you think that you're, if this is wrong, go see the
Right.
office
come
and
to the
get,
office.
re-register your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because it's not registered to the vehicle, it's just
No.
registered to the.
No, we don't go through all
Okay,
that.
No,
that's
I mean,
good.
that
Yeah,
would be
because cars would be changed.
Yeah.
We'd be chasing the
I know.
license.
For that little bit, yeah, no. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
We'd have to hire 3 people just
Right,
to do that.
exactly. Okay. from Sal on roads?
Well, I think Sal just got back into town, but a couple of things I wanted to mention. I should have mentioned last month, and I did not. I think it should be on the record that we did clear that pipe on the Bay Drive Causeway. We did it before the last meeting, but I didn't
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah,
mention it,
right,
and it
yeah,
just seems
yeah.
like it ought to be, so.
Yeah.
What did you end up getting billed for that?
400. I think that was the same as last, well, not even a little, I don't know.
Well, they said it was gonna be a little, I think it was $50 more because they used their pump.
Oh, perhaps,
Or
so
something
then
like
it
that.
was 450 maybe last time.
It was $350 and then maybe it's $400 this time.
Oh.
Something like
Oh, they used the pump this time.
'Cause,
Oh,
yeah, this time
You're
they
right.
used their pump.
you're right, yeah.
Last time we had to haul all of our crap down there.
Yeah, exactly right.
you
It
know.
was worth $50.
Yeah.
These bids. Southern Maryland Paving has completed that driveway interface on Lakeview Drive. At the end, we had kind of overrun with our paving.
Right.
I had a report a week ago on Monday from somebody who lives up on Mill Creek Drive above Anchor, and he called it a washout of Mill Creek. So I had like when I hear washout, I think, down the hill, washout.
Right.
It's less than that, but it's more than a pothole. Joe was gonna fill it with Zachary, but I talked with Chris. Chris went to look at it, and he said, no, what we need to do is have somebody, and it's gonna be Carl Bowen, fill it with some CR6. He hasn't done it yet, I just talked with Carl. For now, temporary CR6, tamp it down just to put something there. And then Chris is gonna come up with a statement of work on a permanent, it's gonna be kind of maybe saw cut and then paved. Then he's also gonna be working on a statement of work for this year's paving.
How's Joe doing?
Oh, Joe's doing, did you see him Saturday?
He was there. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
so
what?
surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
I guess I didn't see him.
Yeah, apparently, and I don't think they stayed long time, but apparently it was just open them up just a little bit, get those broken wires out. He's healed, the bone and all that is
Yeah,
healed.
good.
And he was out working, today's Tuesday, yesterday I talked to him, he was working with his son's helping his son,
Yeah.
doing some training, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I was very pleased and surprised, yeah.
And did you order the parts for the mower?
Yes, and that they're actually in,
Okay.
so I'm waiting for them.
All right. Jack,
I'm sorry, I did not have time to look at.
probably not much news since.
No.
meeting.
Since last
No.
Tuesday,
No,
I
exactly.
did about the same, but I did, these are complete fiscal year
Yes,
data.
and end
so
of fiscal year, yeah.
Something I'll have to look at it
Okay.
and report back next time.
Okay.
I don't think there's been anything unusual since.
Oh, no, that's what I can think of. Well, we will see one little difference, and it's because I'm in the process of doing this fiscal year. But
Oh.
you'll see that the, on accounts receivable, that last fiscal year's receivables are now rolled into prior fiscal year. So if you look at the balance sheet you had from from the meeting, you'll see there's a difference there. You don't have to look at it, I don't even have to do it right now. I'm just saying, if you see a difference, that's what that is. Because I do that as of the end of the year.
Bonnie, anything on the environment?
Yeah, I have a bunch of photographs to send to Mark Smith about the state of the various Phragmites regrowth in three areas, the Causeway and Surf Street and the beach. And the worst one was really the beach. And there's a line of growth that parallels Drum Point Lake. And I know it's because on the other side of that falling down chain link fence is the club's huge stand of Phragmites, and so we'll always probably have more regrowth there, because I'm sure it gets reseeded all the time. And I guess they are still not doing anything about it. And interesting, I was talking to Tim Hansen, I believe his last name is it?
Yes, yeah.
And he was at he originally was one of the people that went with Mark Smith to tour the club grounds and gave him a price. And Mark Smith, for the whole club, all the Phragmites was $1,200. And so they decided not to do it, and so, Autumn, Jimmy's contact, Autumn, I forget her last name, the one that has this more supposedly eco-friendly way of putting the price she gave them for just the stand abutting our beach on the north side of the inlet, it's like 36,000.
Oh, my.
1,000?
Yeah, and see, when she talks to Autumn, she won't tell you a price, and she's always saying, oh, we have grant money and this and that.
That's a lot hard to
money,
come
yeah.
by, just
Yeah, so Tim told me, I thought, oh my God, holy cow. So, I think their plan still is to try to just machete it down and put a bunch of Roundup on or something, but they don't, I mean, it's very labor intensive unless, I don't know who they're gonna get to do it, and I can't imagine volunteers doing it.
They're gonna put Roundup on it?
Or not,
I thought,
but they're putting something.
because I thought that was part of the issue.
But they can't do
Well, there were
Roundup.
people that did
They
not
have to
want
put
it.
something
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, and I mean, Mark Smith could have had it done already.
Yeah.
But they're putting something on it, or maybe they're gonna put their own black plastic or whatever, but it's very intensive, and I don't know, I suspect they're not really gonna get around to it, you know, because it's a lot of work. So that's, Mark will come in the October timeframe, he told me to do the spray. And then the other thing is, I sent you all an email this afternoon, you will not have had a time to see it. Oh, we could talk about it, okay, anyhow, that's my bugaboo. My bugaboo continues. And Tony helped me. We had 3 yardsticks and a meter stick. But I mean, it's still little,
The pictures
They
make
don't-
it look like it's even.
yeah,
and,
there
really isn't. There's
like
like,
a 6
just
inch
to,
stick.
just to the side on the land side of the well ring, just about every one of them has about a 6-inch
Yeah,
drop.
and if you ever
And-
walked into not expecting a dip, your spine will,
And, you know, the whole thing is that it's narrow enough to begin with. And then with Min's fence, which is totally on her property and totally legal, it just sort of makes it feel a whole lot narrower.
and it is, and then you have that
Yeah,
drop off on the right
I
hand.
got it right before I came,
The drop off on the right hand side is just
Yeah.
horrible.
And then there are 2 well rings, at least 2 well rings that are deteriorating on the water side. You know,
Yeah, but she said she's thinking of extending her fence.
By one more
Towards the
section.
water?
One more leg,
Toward the water?
toward the beach, yeah, with that.
She'll be a permanent.
I-
She'll have to get permanent.
I don't know what, I don't
Why did she
understand.
need a permit? I thought you
It's in the
didn't.
critical area, it's under the buffer.
But
She
she-
had to get a permit for that fence.
Did she have a permit for the one she did
I
already?
believe so.
Well, I know she said she got it surveyed, that's how she
Yeah.
knows the placement of it is legal.
Right.
And she'll, I don't know if she needs a
But
permit.
she really wants to discourage.
And she has to allow access.
She,
Regardless.
Well, yeah, but she won't, you know, the thing is, she won't physically block the access, but it's sort of
but she makes it
psychological.
precarious. She makes
more
it precarious,
difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, you see, when the tide is out and that there's nothing there, that's a big drop onto those
Oh,
old
yeah.
well rings that are sticking out. Wow.
And
You wouldn't want
that's at least 8 feet.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, but plus, if it were just sand, that would be one thing, or water, but you have those old leftover well rings from who knows when.
The 50s,
So
60s.
that's my bugaboo, and we'll just, you know, figure out if there's anything we can do about it. If she built that next leg, it's gonna be worse. For people.
Don't we get to object as adjacent property owners?
I
Are
don't
we
know.
adjacent property?
Well, yeah, that's
That easement here
Or
is
the
our
public,
property.
yeah, the public access.
No.
Public access.
Well, and Jack had this plaque that shows her property actually goes
Quite a bit to the
And-
south.
Yeah.
up and onto the, you know, the part that we think of as open common property, but it's not. So is our right of way, is our beach access a right of way on her property, or is it just abutting her property? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's abutting her
Yeah.
property. But like the vacant lot where the stairs are on Bay Drive, there's a lot,
Uh-huh.
and then there's a 10-foot,
But
I
her-
believe, wide easement to the water that's ours. And
But
it's
where
on
she,
the
but where she
lots.
has her fence, actually her property kind of goes onto that, you know, Jack found this interesting
Yeah.
plat, and it's not clear that there aren't multiple plats that don't agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
And so it's very frustrating.
She's 504.
Yeah, she's right here.
You can see the property line takes a curve to the south, not straight.
Oh, I see what you're saying right here.
So it looks like we're going across her property
Yeah, we
or
did,
something.
it,
It's very-
based on.
But our-
Things are right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but.
yeah, ours-
Yeah.
Yeah, but the right, I think
don't know.
our access is not across her property, but more paralleling the water until you get to the well rings, and then,
When the well rings go out far enough, then it's definitely not her property,
Right.
but.
but I think,
I don't know.
I think you sort of have to, Bruce and Megan's house, you have to sort of walk parallel to the water, swing a little to the right, and then cross the well rings. I think that's, I'll bet that's probably the real.
I assume
right
that's
It's weird.
below the
Is
high
that-
water line or
Jack, is
something.
this blue line, is that showing below the?
That blue line is actually property that's deeded to us.
Oh,
Okay, so
Click
then
on that,
that's
and
where we
you
would
can see.
access it then.
So that's,
That's our
Right.
easement right there,
Yeah,
because we
but,
have the line.
the other question is that land still there?
Well, I know, I understand.
Yeah, a lot of it's,
I
yeah,
understand what
no
you're
longer there.
saying. True.
Makes it complicated.
So if property owners have kudzu that's overtaking their property, can anything be done about it?
That we would do
Fred
for them?
Murphy's.
No, well,
If
they
they
just
just,
in general.
you would think that they would do it.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Get a weed whacker. Are you
Well,
talking about
it's
poisoning
not
it?
possible.
You're
Well,
talking about
Kutsu
poisoning
isn't
it?
get a goat,
Oh, because it
A
goes,
goat,
yeah,
yeah.
goat.
a goat, rent a goat.
Well, they do
It's
that.
like,
They do it
you
in
know,
the spring,
they
to
can be up
kudzu.
in the air, and, yeah.
No, no, well, but they eat it out at the ground and
But I don't know, because we're not responsible for,
yeah, if
No,
it's
that's
on
not what
private,
I'm saying, I'm just
No, but if
saying.
it's on
what
private-
can they do?
if it's on private property, the
They
owner
have to-
should seriously look into getting a goat, because I think they're
They will
doing
have
that in
to.
some
They
southern states.
rent goats, because
They
in
rent
Silver
goats.
Spring they did it, but one time they got goats that didn't like kudzu. So then I was in the paper, I'm not kidding, so then they made sure next time that they
Yeah, you
got
gotta make
goats
sure
that
you
like
get a
kudzu.
kudzu liking goat.
But they do.
Oh, we should ask if
Okay,
you
okay.
prefer kudzu or if you prefer grass.
And they'll eat everything, but.
So my other question about is, if we own the jetty, oh, that's the other thing, Andrew didn't realize what she didn't get when she got the riparian rights. I think she thought she got a lot more
Oh, yeah, she,
control.
yeah.
That's why she did it, which I always thought you,
That too. So is she gonna ask for,
No.
quick claim for
no,
full?
no, I don't, well, she still would have to allow people to go
Yes.
across. She wants to not have people doing that,
Yeah.
or discourage it, make it so
Well,
difficult.
in her heart's desire, she would like to just prevent people from going
Well,
on.
like so many things in life,
Yes.
if you don't know the right questions to ask before you make a purchase, you
Yeah.
might end up with something like this happening.
It's okay, well, yeah.
It is there.
Yeah. So if she extends that fence, it's just gonna even be worse, and I guess if it's on her property, and she gets a permit, she's gonna be allowed.
She could do
So-
it, yeah,
so
she
my-
could do it down to the high water
So my
line.
That's
question
right.
is,
actually, the county shows the fence, you know, so you can click on and get a satellite view as well.
okay,
This shows the fence already on our property, that's this
Already on
weird
ours,
deeded bit of property that's deeded to us.
what does that mean?
She's already extended
already
it
on-
into
So she's on
that
our
area.
property. So if that, Tony and I were talking a while back, if that last leg of the fence that's already there, if we could get her to remove that, we'd make it so much easier. Okay, maybe somebody would put their left
It's
foot
easy
on
to see
her
on the
property as
computer.
they're walking down, but they wouldn't be
Yeah.
going into
And then
the.
it's actually
Well,
labeled
I
fence.
doubt she's gonna.
Oh,
go for
no,
that.
she's not gonna
Yeah,
do anything that she doesn't.
Well, also too, I think it's an important point because, the other public access that we took the sign down on, you know, by the Kermans, that's really difficult to get down there,
Yeah.
so, and people are gonna wanna get onto the beach, so I feel like
Well,
we
I
should
mean,
do
and I guess the
something.
Kerman one, that's really not, that is Amy Risman's
That's
property,
right,
right?
that's
So
not our
we
property,
can't-
it's
that's
Amy
not our
Risman's
property.
property.
No,
that-
not on their stairs or anything, but where we
No, no.
have the public access.
Yeah, no, that's
They-
Amy Risman's property.
They own
They,
the other
they
side
found
of the
out, they
street.
found
They
out
own
that was
both
an error,
sides.
and that it really is her property.
So is that why we took the
That's
sign down?
right.
Because I thought we
Yes,
took the sign
yes.
down because we
No.
didn't want the liability of people
No.
tripping over the
That might have
rocks.
been a good reason, but that's not reason, it
It's
turned out to
the,
be,
it's the.
We took it down, but it's not ours.
it's a mistake.
We can't.
I think they're
For
gonna
like
put
40
claim
years
years
ago,
ago.
made that
They
mistake.
put
No,
claim
it's
down.
not
for
right.
now.
Official,
That-
legal,
that-
yeah.
Land changed hands
I
when the
don't know.
causeway was built.
Okay. And-
They owned, the Rispens apparently
Yeah,
owned
we do
land
own
right down to the
Oh, we
water.
got that water,
Underwater.
okay, and then
And-
that,
Yeah.
But it is deeded to.
Okay, well, that's fine, I mean,
I know, that's, I mean,
Well, I know they get upset because
Nobody
when the road is being redone, they feel like it's encroaching on their property, because they've told me,
They
every time
being,
the risk is.
we have a quick claim. in
Because I have
the file.
seen
We
him
have a
on the
quick claim in
ground,
the
like
file.
trying to remove the asphalt.
We have,
Yeah, but he also gets on the ground to clean
Yeah.
the stones, and you come around.
Yeah, well, I asked him what he was doing, because I thought he
He's
might
gonna-
have
he's gonna
gotten
get
hurt,
killed.
you know, because he's
Yeah.
lying on the asphalt right after the road was paved,
oh,
trying to dig it out. And, he's like, oh, they're taking, you know, that they're going over into my property.
I don't even know. I know we have quick claims, and I think from what you guys are saying,
Was that
if they have property to the water,
Oh,
that
3/4.
we had built the road had been built, we didn't do it, the road had been built, and I think it encroached on their properties, toward their house. So that's why there was two quit claims. One, we quit claimed to them that access to the water, they quit claimed to us that portion of the road. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
That happened right before or right after I got
Yeah.
So that's-
before.
here. That's why they now, they didn't, I don't think they used to, I think there
Okay.
did used to be an access point to the water there.
Oh, okay.
I think, don't quote me, I'm
Okay.
on videotape,
But, yeah, I, you
I
know,
don't know, but I think that's what it was.
I just remember when it was pointed out to me, and I sat there and I was looking at these plats, and I just went, oh my, that's not
Yeah,
our property.
yeah. Now getting back to the new property, do we own that Wellring jetty? I mean, is that our
I think so.
responsibility to maintain it?
I think so.
Because she told us quite, you know, she will not maintain it.
Well, I don't think she's
Well,
responsible.
And she's not responsible, and she's not
Right.
responsible, but,
According to Bob Barry,
Um,
before he died,
right.
he helped Mr. Kerman put those well rings in.
oh, and he put the ones between his property
On
and
your
mine,
property.
on my property.
Yeah, just to make sure that you would
That
have.
I would have to maintain, or if I, but I don't think I have to, because I don't have a riparian right.
That's right.
But I'm doing it in my own self-interest, because it deserves my beach, or what's, I think it's my beach, but it's not really.
I'm sure you could make this a nicer, maybe more even walkway, but the cost,
I know,
and the permitting and everything else
yeah,
that go into it,
it may not be,
I would, I mean, my thought would be, why don't we put a sign up there that says
use it your own
caution,
proper,
uneven
Yeah.
surface,
that's fine.
and at least warn people that, hey, you gotta watch your step walking out here. I mean, this is not a,
Yeah,
this is not a thoroughfare.
and it's not, it's deteriorating.
Well, I feel like that's okay for now, but I feel like it's gonna deteriorate
Get worse,
more and
yeah,
more,
yeah,
so
yeah.
eventually I
Yeah,
feel
but
like we
there's
have
so
to
many
either do something or
Or
not
just
have
not have
access. Yeah.
I'm not a cement worker, but I know there's two well rings out here that are on the water side. One is really deteriorating and the other one's getting ready to crack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Those-
do.
those
And
should
especially,
be
and especially if you
repaired
put her
possible.
the next
Well,
leg
we
of her
could-
fence. it's
Yeah,
gonna be
something like
very-
that, we could maybe, try to get it, look into getting it repaired.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but.
Well, you'd have to get a,
And you know, when I sent the March 29 picture of it, I mean, there's a lot of sand there, and I guess it's been eroded from underneath probably, because as the well rings deteriorate, I mean, because that's kind of sunk down, you know, it used to be in that March 22. I don't know why I took that picture, but I must have been having a little,
Yeah, I've
If you-
actually,
if
I've actually taken pictures of it too, so.
are you talking about the one with the sand that goes all the way down?
well, in March 19th, the first photo is from March 19.
Yeah.
You can see it's
And then I
like
showed
that.
how it is now in July 2021,
Mhm.
March 2019 versus now. And it gives you a sense of, that it wasn't so bad then. Her fence
Yeah.
was already at.
See that one?
But it was really, yeah, her fence was up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't so bad, because you had a solid place to step on in the sand.
It is
But
cracked.
now you don't have, you have
You
this,
know, the same sort of way.
Yeah.
This one and that one.
kill your spine.
Should be a little patch, one way or another.
Just keep dumping saccharin in it maybe, I don't know.
I mean, Joe did patch that one.
Well, there were like 3 or 4 well ring where Tony had he had the yardstick and there were 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches.
Right.
And it sloped down, but you couldn't see it because the grass was growing. And you know, it just kind of masked it a bit.
Could you see about a sign that says?
Yeah.
Use it your own
Caution,
or
uneven
using your
surface.
own-
Risk or something.
like that,
I'll see what I can do.
uneven surface, using
And
your
it
own-
was saying people were coming down with coolers and
They are.
all sorts of stuff.
So then maybe that speaks also, I mean, interruption, I'm sorry, but speaks to if we can get the erosion control done and increase, stand at the community beach,
Oh, yes.
they won't be accessing these
Well, maybe they
little
won't,
places.
won't want to if it's,
Yeah,
if it's
that's what I mean.
nicer, if it's nice,
That's
if
what I
the
mean,
community
yeah.
is nice,
Yeah.
nicer,
Yeah.
and it exists.
I mean, that's long term, but,
Well, thank you all for wading through that, because that was the only way to kind of try to illustrate what was, and I said, students really do worry about falling off. Tony said she could drop down there twice.
Once when he was a pup and once when he had 3 legs.
Dropped into the, and there was
Well,
one.
I worry about little kids too,
No,
like kids
no.
are running, they don't watch where they're
Oh, he
going.
fell into the sand?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's worse.
It's not.
Those the water would,
Didn't hurt himself though, miraculously. Tough dog. Was.
he was.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
For about 2 weeks now.
I didn't know that story.
He just shut down, didn't she? Said he just all of a
Yeah,
sudden
just
shut
shut down. Everything just started in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it happens a lot.
And that's the problem, they usually don't outlive us.
That's
No,
what we get.
that's the biggest problem. They should live longer. They all need to live longer.
All right, moving on. Maggie, you have anything on safety?
No, but before I get into that, is everybody aware of what happened on the 4th around Riverview Causeway?
No. With the scratches on the car? Yes. I had Joe trim it. It
Well,
was on next door, Digest, is where it's.
the pink house, well, everybody knows the pink house, had family and friends, and they were parked on the left side, but had 2 wheels on the road and 2 over, and then they had this humongous bush, so we only had about this, us and several other cars, only had about this much distance to get through. Well, not ours, but someone had their car scratched because of
Brand
it.
new car.
I almost called the police.
Why didn't you?
You should have.
Why didn't you, man?
You
That's what
should
you
have.
should do.
Well.
So I read that on Next Door Drum Point, and I called Joe, and he happened to be out working with his son, Joe. He said, I'll go right down and do it. Now, from the description on Next Door Digest, I couldn't find the guy in my database, but I don't know, I didn't want to call the wrong person, but I couldn't quite tell exactly what it is. So let me know ifE did not get the.
Are you talking about the?
I don't know, there was all I know, there was
Well,
a
they didn't say the
girl
big
that
pink
made a
house, they gave
comment
us
about Carl
numbers and,
Oh,
you know, so let me know if Joe didn't get the right spot. But he said, I'll go right down and do it.
What was he gonna do?
Trim it. There's a bush
Oh, the bush.
right next to the
Oh.
road.
And then they-
Oh,
Trim it,
yeah, go in, cut it back in
Well,
5, 10
that's,
feet.
well, I don't, let me know if it's not turned back far enough, or if you didn't get the right bush, because I didn't
bush
have
was
any
on
fire.
exact. I don't know, no, I would imagine it must have been in our right of way if it was scratched.
Yes.
Well, it's one of those little cypress, you can't miss it, it's the
Right.
only one sitting there.
Oh, the bush
Yeah.
scratched the cars.
Yes.
Where is
Yeah.
this?
On
What
River
kind of-
Pier,
what kind of-
Riverview.
I don't know,
Oh, wow.
I don't know,
It
but
was
anyway, a
all
car
fine.
was scratched, a couple cars were scratched.
Oh, wow.
So I was going to respond on Next Door, and I didn't want people to think I was trolling them. So, but I do like to get on there and see,
Yeah.
you know, if I, because I do get alerts about it. Well,
Yeah.
let's see what's being said here. Anyway, so
Anyway, so,
hopefully that was taken care of.
my business is taking a little breather here, so I'm gonna get with Gary tomorrow,
Okay.
and see if we can't get up here and get some things done.
Okay. Welcome in.
Yes, it's been busy.
On the safety committee still.
Yeah.
Yeah, cameras. I mean, can we ask
Joe
Joe?
is, little Joe was up there.
Yes.
Yes, I'll ask little Joe, or Joe
we don't
Junior.
want Joe.
We call him Little Joe.
Joe Junior.
Little Joe.
But, you know,
Yes.
compared to his dad, he's much thinner.
Okay.
So he is little.
Narrower
Narrower
But
Joe.
it's
We
either
still
Little Joe or
stand
Joe
down there and
Junior.
watch. No, Joe Junior.
All right, well,
Okay, yes, I'll do that, I'll ask Joe.
we go,
Little Joe sounds like Bonanza.
Carl's,
I know.
you know, we go Carl's son, Carl Three Sticks,
Yes. Carl three.
because he's the third.
Oh,
Carl
Yeah,
Three
Carl
Sticks.
three.
So Jenna and Asha, since the last meeting, had assembled 3 buckets and that left me 5 on hand. They're all gone, I gave out 3 of them just on Friday. it has been crazy, property transfers.
And it's gonna keep right on?
Yes, it is, and I've given out all my welcome folders, and I'm in the process of assembling more. And I went to the Marine Museum today to look for, or to get brochures. If you've been in there, they're pretty scamped.
Yeah, it's been
They
busy
don't have much.
there, yeah.
Well, so I got what they had, and we have enough supplies, we should, for 4 buckets, if you guys want to.
Yeah,
Do that.
I can come tomorrow, I can't come Friday, but I can come tomorrow if you're available. You can text me later.
So, and that's,
Probably.
that's it. We've been, I already said this on Saturday, or Tuesday,
Not tomorrow,
but 91
Thursday.
buckets today.
Thursday.
which is, I think, pretty good.
And
Well, there's 3 houses, one, on River Terrace that has a contract on it. Betsy's house.
Oh, they sell them, that's
I'll double check
okay.
it out.
Yep, they have a contract, and there's 2, one just went on overlook for 1.1.
Nice.
And then
Over?
2 doors down.
Which one went for 1.1? I know of one that might, but I wouldn't have thought any of the others would go for that.
I don't
You know,
know, 319,
Oh, three.
is that it?
Who's the owner?
Stephen, Debbie Fair or something, strange last name. Stephen and Debbie, theirs is almost 1.1. And then there's a house 2 doors back towards me that will be coming on for probably about 8:45. So those 2, both of those are gonna go like
Yeah.
no more.
Right, right. It's crazy. All right, so that's all I have. 8 buckets.
Yeah, we
We'll try coming on Thursday at 11 if that works
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Okay, other than what I talked about at the general membership meeting, I don't really have anything new on planning. Been talking to Scott Hardaway, who's the primary engineer for the company we've been dealing with. He and I both have had trouble getting hold of this guy in Maryland that runs the loan program. So keep after that, try to find out what's going on with that.
I forwarded an email.
Yeah, I
Did
got
you
it
see
from
that?
Shirley.
Yes.
Again, protecting her beach. She sent she looked up some information on grants and stuff. Well, part of that program is the loan thing we're already applying for. There was some other grant stuff. I didn't have a lot of time to look at it. I kind of flipped through it. Most of it had to do with things like education and youth projects and those kind of things. I didn't see anything that immediately jumped out where they were going to fund major construction kind of stuff, but I will look at it.
May I make a suggestion when you talk to the general meeting that we never say the word assessment? Because there were several people that blanched. Because assessment could be a small amount of money if we had to assess the people.
Yeah.
But they're all thinking thousand, and they, especially Karen Hansen went.
So,
It was like the body language is not good.
if I said it, I'm not even aware of it.
Well, I mean,
I meant if I said it, I meant it in a generic sense.
yeah, and when you think, how many households is it, like 1,000 or something?
1230, 1230 something.
If you divide that into 250 in the worst case.
Well,
it's not-
keeping in mind
it's
that
not a big
maybe
number.
5% of them will pay, but.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like $250, but everybody's gonna, there were 3 that I saw that visibly, there was,
Yeah.
Trying to get a handle on this loan thing. Would it help to ask Mike Hart to look into it and see if he can turn over some rock or something?
Well, good, I mean, if we get to that,
I mean,
it's a state thing.
Yeah, but
you might know somebody.
he knows, he must know more people in Baltimore,
Or Tony
in
O'Donnell.
Annapolis
What
than
about
I
Tony
do.
O'Donnell?
But he transferred to Baltimore, didn't he?
Oh, I know, but he lives here in Brown
Oh, Debbie?
He's with the Public Service Commission
Yeah,
now.
but maybe he'd have some contact, somebody,
Somebody
direction to
knows.
point us.
Not that I'm saying, ask somebody to go in there and make it happen, no, but at least, turn over a rock.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see if this guy, if we don't get anything back from him in a reasonable time, I'll pursue what that is. Yeah, good idea.
If I could just make one point about the money, is we can, over the next year, arrange to have that money. we've got $263,000 in the special tax district money being held by the county. They're not gonna let us use it for the beach apparently until we redo the special tax district, hopefully. But if we use that for all the permitted stuff, all of the stormwater, paving, everything. Don't use any of the mandatory assessment, don't use any of the other, of our money, our unencumbered money. We can do it over the next year.
Well, just keeping in mind that the money that's at the county is budgeted in a certain fashion. So I can't there's certain things I can't use that for. You know, there's budget lines that have that money
That's right.
set aside for it. I always try to work it into that.
But we still use mandatory assessment
Yeah.
and others for roads.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
We should, yeah.
Let's keep that money for ourselves and use it for the beach if we need it or whatever.
So over the last two general meetings we've had, the one last week, I couldn't be, and one before that, what's the general consensus of the people that attended about this whole situation?
It's
Hard
changing.
hard to tell.
It- it's-
It
And
does seem to be,
a
it
couple
does
of
seem to
meetings,
be.
yeah, a couple of meetings ago, it was real hostility.
Mhm.
2 meetings ago, there was a little bit of hostility, but not so much. This last meeting, it seemed to be people are sort of like, oh yeah, we have to do something about the beach.
Well,
And
Shirley put in a good word.
Yeah, I think it was good
That was
to
pretty
have
good.
local
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
that
and-
use the
and-
beach, speak up,
And
yeah.
I think there's, safe to say, there's some shifting of the wind. You know, who knows how long that'll
Well, and
last.
I think though, because we had the
Yeah.
people that came to the meeting, but if when this goes out to a vote, we're gonna have to get the young couples.
But, yeah, no, I
that
honestly
really,
believe.
really need it.
I honestly believe that
Really
when
need
it comes time for a final vote on this beach thing, I think we have to send it to all households in the mail and
Explain
ask
it, right.
everybody,
Explain it.
explain it and ask everybody to vote.
Yeah.
Not just depend on the 20 people that are over 80 that show up at our general membership meeting.
No, you're
I
right.
think that's, yeah, and we have a-
You're gonna be there soon,
we have
Terry.
a-
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
wait a minute, I didn't say that disparagingly, it was a statement of fact.
Yeah, or that, yeah, and they don't use that beach.
That's
You know,
right.
they-
And not only
They
that,
have a beach of their
being
own.
an
or
old
they-
guy, old guys are cheap.
They don't wanna spend it.
They don't wanna spend money,
Right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, we don't need frickin' schools.
that's
I
right.
don't have anybody in
That's
school.
right, yeah, right.
Yeah, I've already done my,
Yeah, let's get rid of
fair
these
share.
school taxes. What the hell
And
is
the
it?
same with the beach,
Yeah.
you know,
Why isn't my doctor any good?
but the young couples, I mean, I like the couples that live across from the Cullies. I mean, these young mothers would go berserk if you didn't have that beach there. I mean, they use it all the time. And so we just gotta, we gotta do it.
And I think if the word is out there, that's why we're having the meeting,
Oh,
that
they'll
more
show up,
people will
they will
show
show
up.
up, and they'll
Yeah.
help,
You know, when we spend $200,000, whatever it is.
So we have it.
Yeah.
And if we can get an interest-free loan,
That'd be even better.
it's
Yeah.
even better.
Or if we can use our own funds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even,
Oh, even
I
that.
mean, we could still, the loan could still help us
Oh,
Yeah.
defer
I'll
the,
take free money anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
anything,
yeah, yeah.
anything.
it's not, I mean, it's not totally
Because,
free, but.
because
You
you
gotta
can
give it
get
back.
Well,
Well, you got to pay for the loan, but you can't, you
Zero
can pay out
interest.
when you're.
It's free money.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
in a
true.
sense.
Oh, yeah, you're making a killing on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, we put unfinished business on here, the property, but I don't know if we have anything.
Yeah,
Maggie was gonna
I
get
have
some
some
comments.
information.
Okay,
Which is really interesting. So Bill Hawkins bought this property in 1985 for the grand total of $5,700. So I'm gonna move forward to 2021, 2020. There are 2 properties that I found, one here and one in Chesapeake Beach. So the one in Chesapeake Beach is on Bowie, and it is 0.75 acres, where this one here is not even a quarter, it's just shy of a quarter acre. So the one in Chesapeake Beach is listed for $40,000 for 3/4. However, it's been approved to perk. And they have a lot more amenities over there than we do.
yeah,
Having said that, that property has been on the market 110 days. nobody's
Oh, that
jumping,
one at
just the one at
Chesapeake Beach.
Chesapeake Beach, nobody's jumping it, I mean, Chesapeake Ranch, nobody's jumping at that.
Oh, we,
Oh,
no.
Chesapeake Ranch.
Chesapeake
You
Ranch.
said
Oh,
Chesapeake
no,
Beach.
Beach.
Chesapeake Ranch.
Yeah, Chesapeake
Chesapeake
Ranch.
Ranch.
Just saying, it's,
Yeah, that's
No,
what-
Chesapeake Beach is too far.
The ranch club, yeah.
The other one here that I found is on Lesson, and it's 0.25 acres, or the same as this one, 0.23 acres. And it's listed for 25,000.
Is it per?
No. It says parking included, that is it. That's all it says.
Parking included
It's
or
parking included.
Parking included.
A lot that
Is
doesn't.
there a driveway,
work.
is there a driveway or something, or gravel driveway or
As
something?
far as I know.
Is it waterfront?
No, it is not.
Parking included.
And how long is it?
well, I know the younger man's bought the lot that's next to us, and I don't know what they bought that for, but I don't think it perked, because someone was trying to
Check.
check to see if it would perk, and they were hoping it wasn't gonna perk, because they wanted
Right.
to buy it. But I don't know what they
Just,
bought
yeah,
it for.
just-
Yeah. So as far as I know, I mean, there's no reference in this listing to perk. It just says water source, non-sewer, other. So, this one has been on the market. Days on market is 166, but
That's still really
cumulative days on market is 1,237 days.
Do you have the SDAT on it, the tax assessment, assessed value? On the one on Lesson?
The one on Lesson, I didn't, the assessment on it, the assessed value was 4,300.
On Lesson.
40.
So that, according to what I was told by John Gray, if it's that low of an assessment, it's either, it's probably been, it doesn't pass perk. Probably it doesn't pass perk. If you see a lot that's assessed for 40, 50,000, it means one of two things. It either passed perk, or there's never been a
Never
perk
been a
test
perk.
done, and the county, of course, is going to tax it as though it perks, because they get more money for it. But if that's only assessed at 4,500, to me, that says it doesn't pass.
So this one over here, I don't see anything, the taxes are 4,600. The assessment is 4,600, the one over here, like, and the taxes are 458. So that's all the tax information I have. It was listed in 2004 for 33,000, that expired. And then it was listed in 2005 for 35,000, and it expired. So my guess is if we offered 16, 18, she might take it.
Well, why would we?
But that sounds like an awful lot of
Sounds
money.
like a lot.
That's, it's the time, that's what, you know.
Do we want it that badly? That sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah.
We want it for 16,000.
I mean, you know, you could always,
Where do you put the dumpsters for
yeah,
cleanup day?
that was my thought too.
And
Apparently, years and years ago,
What
this
happens,
road is doing a
where do we park? We pull up on this lawn here?
Yeah,
If need be.
Yeah,
Well, we wait for somebody to buy it and discover that it doesn't work and it's useless to them. Then we
Ask
offer to
everyone
rent parking places from them
There you go.
No, but, you know,
for a lot less
I
than
just don't
16,000.
understand.
well, like I said, people are buying land nowadays that doesn't perk. It just blows me away. It's
Do they
just,
think we're gonna have utilities put there, septic, or what am I trying to say?
Oh, sewer, but
So,
Yeah,
I mean-
sewer and water.
you can,
is that what they're banking on, that we're gonna put sewer and water in here?
no. People are, ones that are buying them just to hold on to, or to, not necessarily here,
Right.
but to, pull a camper off, or, go.
You can't do that in
hunting
here
or
either.
whatever.
You can't do that in here.
Not necessarily here, but
Yeah.
other places.
Right.
So, I don't know, is it worth 12, 15, 14, 15?
We were thinking, what, 5 or 6?
Yeah.
That's what we're
We're thinking-
Well,
five.
she might not take 5 or 6, but what is it assessed at?
It is assessed at 46, 46.
4,600.
But usually, is the assessment usually lower than its real value?
Yeah, usually because the state, the county doesn't wanna argue about the
Yeah,
price
so,
and collect
so
tax.
maybe 6,000? Well, I would go with.
Well, have you heard anything more from them?
No.
Um,
And she really didn't ask me about it, she simply contacted me to let me know that she wasn't gonna let, Grizzly, the mountain guy, work
Food
with,
truck.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, right.
food truck, park
Yeah.
there, you know, she come to them that, and,
Right.
oh, gee, by the way, she was gonna put it on the market.
Maybe we should approach her and see what she says. Does she want to sell it?
Well, she wants to sell, she's thinking of putting it on the market, that's
Well,
what she said.
she's thinking, but it's not officially.
Not on the market yet, I don't
She hasn't
know.
had it on the market since 2005, so, yeah.
And John Gray told her 15 to 20, I wish he wouldn't have said it. Of course, that was 20 years ago, and,
So she would think she could even get more than that, assume.
well, price is up, that's probably.
Well, she was asking 30-something, the last 2 times it was on the market.
30 and 30.
Yeah.
In 2004, it was 30. Then the next year, she put it at 35, which is really strange. If you didn't sell at 30, why would she?
But I guess it depends
Sales
on
are down, up the
market
price.
conditions at the time, I mean, you could.
Well, that one, they used to
2005.
try to perk it, I mean, that one did fail perk a number of times, at least to my knowledge,
So
unless
this-
something has happened since, yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Well, if we really wanted for basically the trash collection day, or is there any place else we could do that?
We have
It's
vacant
convenient to have
lots.
it, it's convenient to have it, you know,
Right.
across the street, for sure, but
We have vacant lots,
what kind of shape are they?
I don't know, that's what I'm trying to look to see.
But are they vacant enough?
We have to clear them.
Or we
No,
have
no,
to
we
clear
have
all
to
the
clear them,
trees
we
out?
have to clear them, I mean, it's not like there's a vacant lot, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
not a house on the lot.
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
vacant,
yeah.
Undeveloped, so we have to clear it. So,
And do you have to get a permit to clear the little land?
Yeah, it depends how close it is, yeah, I mean, I guess.
But
you
I'm
know,
very
anyway.
Why don't we just let this simmer for a while? It's
Yeah.
not officially on the market yet,
right.
right,
Yeah.
so we don't really have to jump at it.
And maybe we can consider some other options in
Yeah,
the
let's see
development.
what happens.
okay.
Yeah, she could put it on the market for 35, maybe she'd raise it to 40 this time.
Yeah.
And if she
Put it on
gets
the
it,
market and
if
it'll
she-
expire in another year, and we'll still park here. and-
I don't know, she's probably not getting any younger.
She's an
Well,
old
I know,
woman.
but-
I mean, I don't know,
So-
she was an older woman.
I think people reach a certain point when they're just like, okay, so I paid 57 for it. If I can get 12 and a run to the bank.
Right,
Yeah.
at some point, yeah.
Yeah.
but is it worth to us, I guess that's.
I mean, you
what
could-
we're
I
trying to-
I think it's, you could tell her that, that she officially told you she was thinking about putting it on the
Yes, she
market.
said, I'm thinking about putting it on.
And your response to her was,
My mind can't remember what it said yesterday, you want me
So,
to create this conversation of 2 months ago?
Well-
Probably
Did you
just simply
express
so
it-
I'll
did you
talk to
express
the board and
interest?
see if,
Okay.
yeah, I said,
Did
I'll
you
talk to the
express
board and see if
You know,
there
when you want
is
to go back where it's saying, we would consider, we might be willing to consider purchasing it, of course, it would all depend on price.
Well, and what she told me when we kind of talked with that, about that was, well, John Gray told her 15 to 20.
But John, yeah,
well.
but John Gray doesn't.
I'm just
I would-
saying, so that's what,
Yeah.
He told her
that's what
that
she
years
would
ago.
base her.
Yeah.
Well, you could follow up with her and tell her that we have talked about it. There is, we'd like to know, what she's planning on doing with it. It would depend on price and it requires membership approval.
Right,
So, we couldn't act on it immediately.
And that's the whole thing, would depend on membership approval, and if the price is, if it's a little pricey, we're afraid the membership would approve.
right.
Right. So, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for regular meeting?
I just wanted to ask, Rhea, this is a small thing, but last week I emailed you and Mike about the DPPOA Hankins tax fine that was knocked down.
Oh, that's right, you did.
And it looked like maybe
It's on the list, yeah.
a truck or something backed into it, because the post was bent, it couldn't have just been like a.
This is on the causeway?
On the causeway, yeah, and the trash can was in a different place, and the sign is like in the woods a little
Is
bit,
the
yeah.
post there?
That was broken, it's like, it's severed, so it looked like a truck had backed into it, but also the reflectors that were just newly installed in those wooden
Yeah.
cases, two of them were pulled up, they were still standing. But I didn't know, like, there have been a lot of construction trucks between the houses being built and also paving and things, a lot of trucks going back and forth. So I don't know if the truck tried to turn around or what happened, but it had to be something big that hit those, because I don't think a little.
I'll mention it to Joe now that he's definitely back
Yeah.
in gear.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I put it on his list, but I don't.
Yeah,
think
you would need a new
actually talked
post,
to him
a
about
new,
it.
yeah, a new post.
A new signpost too.
Yeah.
Well, I want to adjourn the regular meeting, but I want to, is that on?
Yes.
Can we turn it off?
Well, you make a motion to adjourn.
We don't need a motion.
Oh.
I just adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Right.
All
You
right.
call the meeting to order?
Let's schedule the
No,
next
you
meeting.
can't, no, you can't cut.
Yeah, schedule the next meeting.
Schedule the next
Next
meeting.
one,
Oh,
you're here.
sorry, yeah, okay, I just unadjourned the meeting. What's the next? Yeah, third, is that okay with everybody? That's the regular.
I'll have to,
Hmm?
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll have to call in. I mean, I won't be able to attend in person, but I'll call in.
That's fine.
Are we adjourned now?
Yeah, turn it off.